Hi, my name is Shashank Jain. I'm certified business analysis professional. I have around 15 years of experience in industry and more than 12 years as a business analyst. I have worked with many organizations like startups, mid-sized organizations, and Fortune 500 companies. I love consulting and business analysis, and I have helped many organizations to achieve digital transformation, strategic change, and many services related to business analysis. In this video, I will be discussing about CBAP exam question and especially the case study based questions which the applicant face during the examination.
Let's start. Let's understand what are case study based questions. As CBAP questions contain the case studies and the questions related to it. Providing an answer to a case study based question involves much more than simply recounting the issues and problems set forth. It includes identifying the most important issues, employing sound and logical analysis, developing an action plan for addressing the problem, and making the recommendation, and in your question paper, accordingly mark the answer. Let's look at first example for a case study based questions.
Let's look into the case study based questions as per the test series from Techcanvass. There are many case studies which are available. Let's look at one of it. So this is how the case study based question looks like. Let's understand what all different elements that they can put in the case study based question. You can see here a lot of textual data is there as we see in the introduction session, metrics in the tabular format as you see, which have a lot of numbers behind it, calculations as well. Furthermore, few more metrics or spreadsheet kind of tables which tell about, for example, here forecasting, a lot of details behind it or the analysis behind it. Few more sections like problem statement, business requirement, problem solving, expectations from BAAL, and then there is a data flow diagram as well. So here you can see how much information you can expect in a case study based kind of question. In short, it may have text, tables, and diagrams. Each of the case study question that you may get in your CBAP examination would have around 5 to 6 questions from this case study. Once the case study is over, you can see all the questions which they want you to answer. So one of the approach that one could take is like read the questions first and then go back to the case study because it will take a lot of time for you to read the entire case study. Let's look at the questions first and see if we can answer. Question 1 says, which of the following listed technique is best suited for making reports for the reporting module? This question is quite straightforward. If you know what is the purpose of each technique, probably you may be able to answer it even without reading the entire case study. This may help you sometime. However, if the question is specific to some of the stakeholders, some numbers, then you may have to go back to read the case study. But yeah, the approach that you can take is first skim through the entire case study, go to the questions, read the question first, and answer them. Let's try to get this answer. Let me take anyone and let's see that if my answer has been correct or incorrect. I take any option randomly because in this tool we can also understand that what is the justification for correct and incorrect answer. So the correct answer here is definitely data mining, not data modeling. As the question says, which of the following listed technique is best suited for making reports? So for making the reports, it will be required to have a lot of data. And one may have to do data mining, which is an analytical process that examines large amount of data from different perspectives and summarize the data in such a way that useful pattern and relationships are discovered. In the explanation, we can also see why other answers are incorrect, like concept modeling is used for vocabulary. Data flow diagram is used for understanding how the data is being processed, what is the output of the data. And data modeling is related to the ER diagram and the class diagram, which explains the relationship among them to provide a common set of semantics for analysis and implementation. So we could see that even we could answer this question even just by knowing the technique itself. Let's move on to the second question. The second question says, which of the below listed option is best variation for database module? The options are strategic data model, conceptual data model, logical data model, and physical data model. Let's look at the answer. Well, this is a tricky question, and one who has read the book quite well would be able to answer it. So the best option and the correct answer here is one is the best option here, which is like the strategic data model. Second, keyword, the moment this keyword is used before actual name of the blueprint component, we land ourselves in the physical domain of the component, which is the solution. So yes, physical data model is the correct answer. Those who understand well what is conceptual data model, what is logical data model would be able to answer this, that the best variation for database module is physical data model. Let's look at third question. Here, when we read this question, so yes, it talks about some of the stakeholders, which mean now you need to go to the case study, find out which is the section which can help you in answering this question. But still, let's see. Let's read the question first. Phil asked Jack to submit a report of expected solution benefits, cost of creating the solution, cost of operating the solution, and potential risk impact. What technique will Jack use to make his report? Oh, so the question is like asking about the technique only. So it will be straightforward. In this time also, you may need not to go to the case study because estimation is the technique for this question which is being asked, which helps in predicting attribute which can be related to cost, solution benefits, project cost, business performance, cost of operating a solution, and even a potential risk impact. Let's look at fourth question. This question says, with reference to the sponsor, definition in BABOK, and information in the case study, who is the sponsor for BAEL? Here we may need to go to the case study and find out the section where there is a mention about these sponsors, users like Phil, Matthew. So then you have to find out which section can help you with this information. First section is about introduction, doesn't talk much about the stakeholders. Second is about the product array and details. Yes, this will also not have the details of the stakeholders. As is forecasting, when we quickly go through the content, we don't see it talks about Phil or Matthew. Whether it is in problem statement, no name as such. Business requirement section also doesn't have any such names. Let's jump quickly to problem solving section. It says Matthew is the CEO of Phil and he decides in collaboration with Phil, who is forecasting head at Phil, to hire Business Analysis Aces Limited, which is the full form for BAAL, for addressing the situation and end. Phil will be accountable for all the commercials, and Jack is the lead business analyst for BAL working on this project. So, this statement says the person who is accountable for the commercial is the sponsor. So, here we can answer this in this way as well. So, yeah, even the justification or the explanation says the same. Sponsors are responsible for initiating the effort to define a business need and develop a solution that meets that need. They authorize the work to be performed and control the budget and scope for the initiative. Alternative roles are executive and project sponsors. So, accountability part for the sponsor and Phil is the person. Let's look at the fifth question. As per the Gantt source and notation and keeping the forecasting process as the central application, Demand generation can be best described by which of the below listed options. So here one need to know what are the alternative names for different diagrams, and Gantt sorting is one of the alternative or the type of notation used for data flow diagram. Let's see what could be the correct answer. So yes, external agent is the correct answer. As the demands are generated by the customers, the demand they generate are indeed input data, but at the moment of the focus becomes central to the forecasting data, the demand generation module will be viewed upon as an external agent. So sometimes some question you may need not to go to the entire diagram, which may look this huge. A lot of information is there with regards to the source data, inputs, output. However, sometimes the question can be about just checking your knowledge, how well you understand the alternative names for the diagrams, how well you understand the elements which are there, and what is the purpose for them. So, in that way, you can also answer the case studies.
Alright, let's look at another example for case study based questions.
Let's take another case study. This is how it looks. It again has multiple sections like automation of HR employee information reporting, HR department, as-is or current reporting, what is the problem statement, what are the business requirements. So again, yeah, it has a lot of content, information, data. For example, client is there for more than 110 countries, work across 30 industries, and a lot of data information which has been given to you. Let's look at the questions and understand what could be the right answer. Jack is the HR head with ABCL and he meets Philip, who is a business analyst working with CIO at ABCL. Philip states that the final solution will improve the overall HR employee productivity. What kind of benefit is Philip talking about? So this question is talking about one of the benefit. Let's take an example for answer and understand that if that is right. So yeah, intangible is the correct answer here. As the potential value is uncertain value, there are always events or conditions that could increase or decrease the actual value if they may occur. So let's see the next question. Jack is the HR head with ABCL and he meets Philip, who is a business analyst working with CIO at ABCL. Philip has a solution in mind which can address all HR business requirements and he explains the importance of implementing this solution to Philip in their meeting. What core concept is demonstrated at this meeting? So this question is from BACCM, which is Business Analysis Core Concept Model, and there is a statement as well. However, the correct answer here is B, which is B, because it's talking about the change, the worth, the value itself, which is the worth, importance, or usefulness of something to a stakeholder within the context. And this question also asks the same. Philip has a solution in mind which can address all HR business requirements, and he explains the importance of implementing this solution to Philip in their meeting. So it cannot be stakeholder, it cannot be context, and it cannot be context the change as well. It will be value. Let's look at next question. So here again, even the case study was quite huge as we can see here, and even the question has again further sets of conditions and questions being asked. So Jack is the HR head with ABCL and he meets Philip, who is a BA working with CIO at ABCL. Jack states the following things to Philip. So yeah, in such kind of questions, you have to read the question completely. Uh, if there are a lot of points, then read the last question as well, which is being intended to be asked. Which technique did Philip use to get this information from Jack? So yeah, all such 6 points which he would have captured, and the question is being asked how we would have got it. So let's see what is the correct answer for us. So the correct answer for this is acceptance and evaluation criteria. It is not brainstorming, it is not benchmarking, it is not business capability analysis. And a great amount of explanation is being here that why acceptance and evaluation criteria is the correct answer. Why? Because benchmarking and market analysis are conducted to improve the organizational operations, increase customer satisfaction, and increase value to stakeholders. That is the purpose for it. It cannot bring as such information which are here as per this question. Acceptance and evaluation criteria is used to define the requirements, which is how it looks like. So many requirements are there based on the specific information, specific operation, characteristics. So yeah, acceptance and evaluation criteria will be helpful here. Brainstorming is an excellent way to foster creative thinking about a problem. It can produce numerous ideas which can be used for further analysis. So yeah, brainstorming is also not the right answer. And for sure, those who understand business capability analysis, that is about the capabilities which helps in understanding where are the performance gaps, what is valuable for a business, where there can be risk, and of course that is not aligned with what question is being asked here. So the correct answer here is acceptance and evaluation criteria. Let's look at the fourth question from this case study, which again has question like which asks which is the most appropriate option as your answer. Philip is a business analyst working with CIO at ABCL. Philip drafts the following acceptance criteria. So these are the acceptance criteria, and you have to find out which is the most appropriate option as per your question. So there are a lot of information already there in this case study. You will need to read all of these statements and make the answer. So correct answer is only 2 and 3 are correct, which is like this is statement when an HR employee of telecommunication industry clicks on the industry module for oil and gas, then he or she should get an error message like insufficient access level, kindly click OK to continue. So, well, this is a very simple and straightforward question, in fact. And you can expect such question in CBAP as they consume significant amount of reading time and a lack of attention can end up in person in making the wrong answer. So this is a very classic example of simple time consuming question where one needs to be very attentive while answering. Since the data is highly sensitive, access to reports needs to be controlled as per access level given to HR employees as per their career level and industry specific alignment. This statement gives this opportunity for us to understand that the correct answer is second and third only, which is this one, which says when an HR employee of telecommunication industry clicks on the industry module for telecommunication, then he or she should get an access to the landing page for the telecommunications module. And third one as well, when an HR employee of telecommunication industry clicks on the industry module for oil and gas, then he or she should get an error message like insufficient access level. Kindly click OK to continue. So that is how you should answer these questions for case study. Again, these case study will give you a lot of information. Sometimes you may have to go back to the case study as well in case it is specific or asking about specific data, person, question. But yeah, it gives the context to you to answer the questions which are based out of this case study. So here is the explanation for it as well.
So what are the key aways? All the case study sets will have a lot of content. So the best strategy is to read the question first and then read the content. Few of the questions can be answered or solved directly without reading the content. If context needs to be understood, skim through the content. Try to find information that matters to the question. Going through all the information will kill the time. So have the proper time management and answer the case study based questions.